Well, hello everybody. It's been some time since I've been with you. I haven't said that in a long time. I have been like MIA with my videos lately, and not because I don't want to be on. I have just had one thing after another. As you guys know, we have weddings coming up, we have a missionary that's about to leave, and just all the things. And so it's been a wonderful day today. Today has been a fun day. It's my birthday today, and 53 years old today. And you know, it's interesting because as we get older, it's like the birthday doesn't seem as exciting as because it just means that you're getting older, but you're only as old as you are, you're only as old as you, I guess, make yourself be. You know what I mean? Like you can still, hi all, how are you doing? Thank you so much. You're only as old as, I guess, you allow yourself to be. And I learned so many lessons over this past year, and I was just thinking about what I could share with you because I haven't been on here in a long time. And, one of the things that I've noticed about myself is like, we are about to be empty nesters. Do you realize that? Like in November, we have my youngest son of 8 kids. He is leaving on a mission to go to California on November the 15th. And then we have a daughter, our youngest daughter, getting married on November the 19th. It's so crazy. And so for the first time in like 35 years, I guess that's how many, I don't know, I stopped counting, somewhere in there, we are going to be empty nesters. It's just so interesting. And, it's been really, I look back and I think about all the times of, when my kids were toddlers, and, I see some of my own daughters that are in that same stage, and it's hard, right? We're chasing the babies, we're, changing the diapers, we're waking up at night, and it's hard. But then, you move to a different stage, and then you move to a different stage, and, I just can't believe that, like in 7 years from now, I'm going to be 60. And I'm just like, okay, but I just am so excited about, this new stage of life that I'm going to be in. And, instead of like journaling about like more business ideas and just more, all that kind of stuff. Thank you, Sherry. There's my other child. You say you always wanted to be one of my kids. So I was just teasing you there. But, instead of like taking my journals, like I love this journal. It's called, Good Vibes. I always show you guys my journals and stuff. And I have been, instead, those of you who know me, like over the last probably 6 or 7 years, like it seems like my journaling is more on like, what is my next business idea? What is the next speaking assignment? And now like what I'm journaling and writing down is, what are some of the ways that I want to spend my time, my empty nesting years? And, it's more like getting into my music again. It's more like going into my meditation classes, sound healing, that kind of stuff, and really like slowing down. And it's getting exciting. I want to like start thinking about, other things like that, like, setting up our nonprofit. And it's just such an interesting time. I mean, do you guys realize, like, I've been raising 8 kids over the last, like I say, let me see, I'm going to count. My daughter is going to be 34 on November 1st, the oldest daughter. So for 34 years, like, we've been raising babies. And to not have, like, babies in the house soon to raise, and, like, it's just weird. My husband and I are like, I told him, I said, I want to retire from cooking, and, we're going to eat salads out or tacos or whatever and do things. And I don't know, it's just kind of an exciting time. And, I love my birthday because it's just interesting because it just brings like a lot of people that I haven't connected with, like Sherry and all on here. And, many of you who will be watching on the replay, and just literally 200 people posting on my wall, happy birthday, just so sweet. And, that just brings me to think about like events, right? And yes, Sherry, I have earned that right to do whatever I want. It's so true. And I'm super excited about it. I'm just so excited about this next stage of life. And, as we talk about birthdays and like events and like, it's interesting, like events, like we're about to have this wedding, right? My daughter's getting married, and last Sunday we had all of my 8 kids in one place for my son, his missionary farewell. And it's just so cool how like events pull us together, and, people you haven't seen for a while, and it just makes you realize like what life is all about. Because do we have problems and issues and trials every single day? You betcha. I don't care, young or old, whoever you are, you're going to have your trials. You're going to have, your obstacles. You're going to have the things that are hard, and nobody is exempt. I don't care how young you are, how old you are, you're going to have things that happen. And, it's like I say, I don't know, my days are just like different now. I'm like, it's just more like, I told my husband, I want to sleep in the morning until I don't sleep anymore. Like I have had to wake up like at 5 a.m. every day for so many years, whether it's getting kids off to school or, teaching what they call seminary in our church, where you have to get up and teach a bunch of kids about scriptures and stuff. And I even had to teach when I was nursing one time, and it's just been one of those things. And like, my husband is so sweet because he's like, you get to sleep until you don't want to sleep anymore. And so, it's just a super fun time of life. And events, whether again, it's your birthday or a wedding or a missionary leaving, or it could be a small event. It could be just like a luncheon that you have. Like the other day, I do a lot of one-on-one lunches or dinners with my kids. In fact, I was just texting one of my sons who had a birthday in September, and I usually take them out, and we were trying to figure out dinner. And it's these little moments, like having a grandchild on my lap and reading a book, and just that 5 minutes. Today for my birthday, my oldest granddaughter, hi Jeanette, thank you so much. My oldest granddaughter called me from school and just wanted to wish me happy birthday. And it just like, made me feel so nice because she's so little, and she was so little, and, now she's older. And there's my missionary son. He's on his break. Elder Packard. Can you say hi? You can say hi to him.
Hello, everyone.
He is on his missionary break, like I say. And anyway, these events that we talk about, like, those little things that we can do, like, right?
On the break, I make my mama hug me with both arms.
Aw, you're so sweet. That's the baby of 8. He's going to be leaving on November 15 for Ventura, California. We're so proud of him. And like I say, he is doing, Sister Salen says, hi, Elder Packard. Yeah, so these things, like I say, I just look back, and I ever since my parents passed away a few years ago, I've been talking about creating moments, these small moments, like little moments, little things that you can do. And you can do that too in your own life. It doesn't have to be your birthday to have dinner with your kids or your grandkids, or, to pick up a phone or whatever. And so I guess I'm just saying, like as I contemplate, I love my birthday because, like I say, it brings people together. It brings people in one place that I haven't seen for a while, like I really haven't been as active on doing my videos on Facebook, not because I don't want to, like I say, it's just been a whirlwind of craziness over here, but it's going to slow down soon. And I love sharing ideas with you, but like the biggest thing, like I say, is you to, like really create your moments, whether they're small or big, lunch, dinner. I'm going to share one of the experiences with you. I was at my high school reunion about a couple weeks ago, and I was picking my hotel, and the hotel ended up being I used like an app called Hotwire, and you don't know what your hotel is until you just pay cheaper, and it actually put me in a sit in Beaumont, which is 30 minutes from my reunion. I said, oh, okay, that's okay. Only to find out that one of my granddaughters was actually singing at a performance at a nursing home the next morning, 5 minutes from my hotel. And so I loved it. I was able to be there, and take her and my other two grandkids to lunch. And just that, 2, 3 hours, I think about that event and it makes me smile, and it's like, how can you create these moments? How can you create these daily things? And life is so short. I mean, look, my baby of 8 is leaving and I'm like, where did all these years go? It's like, where did all the years go? And I'm just like, like, I'm so thankful. Like, yeah, like I say, there's hard times and there's hard things, but like you can create those daily small things on a daily basis. And whether it's writing a letter, whether it's a 5-minute phone call, whether it's connecting with somebody on Facebook through Messenger and just, saying whatever it is that you need to say. And so that's how I love living my life, though, as far as, and believe me, life is not always easy, as we all know. It's really hard in a lot of ways, right? But we can find, I've been really behind on my podcast, but one of my podcast episodes is you can find the good in every day, or you can find happy in every day. And it's true, like no matter how hard or how hard your life is right now, and we all have hard times, right? Like I say, nobody's exempt. It doesn't matter, like if you are on Facebook and you say, man, that person's life looks amazing, or this person is, doing so amazing, and like my life is not so good, behind all of that, surely they have their trials, because, social media is what it is. Nobody really likes to post the negative stuff, but we all have things in our life that are hard on a daily basis. But, if we, like at the beginning of our day, I talk about this so much, and that takes your journal and, start your day with gratitude and end your day with gratitude. It really helps you to look like for the good, like, like one day it was just like one thing after another as far as, like things happening. But because I do this practice every day, and at the end of the day, you have to write in your journal, like what are 3 things that happened today that made me happy? And what it does, it just like turns your heart around, changes things around to where you're sad, to like, oh, well, even though I had a flat tire today, and even though, this and this might have happened, I was able to connect with one of my kids, or I was able to, I don't know, help an old lady put her water in her car, because pretty soon I'm going to be that old lady where somebody needs to put the water into my trunk for me. And, like if we're constantly like looking for opportunities to have those moments happen in our life, then suddenly our life is filled with moments of happiness. And those moments of happiness may only be 5 minutes out of your 8-hour day, but you did have 5 minutes of happiness that brought some happiness and some joy into your life because you were seeking for it. Every morning when I wake up and I say my prayers, I always ask for an opportunity to connect with somebody, whether it's if they need help, whether it's, something that I can help with, or maybe it's somebody, I don't know, in Walmart, like I say, or if I'm in Target and somebody who might need help, like opening the door for somebody who is, I had a knee problem one time, and I loved it when people were aware that I was having a hard time walking, and I had, they came in and held open the door. And I'm just like, I'm so thankful for those little moments and those little things. And can you imagine, like, if all of us did that? Like, if all of us were always looking to do something good for someone else, and to say to ourselves at the beginning of the day, by the end of this day, I hope that I can think of it at least 3 things, but hopefully more, of things that I'm grateful for, or things that happened that was good. Even through all the bad, even through all the trials, even through the storms, even whenever we are mourning, maybe we had a death in the family, maybe we have troubled children, maybe we have people who need our help, and it makes us sad. But you know what? We are also told to find happiness. So, if we are constantly, hey, Val, exactly. If we are constantly like always like focusing on the things that are happening in our life that are not good and not happy. That's what we're going to focus on. And we will have them, like we say, and I say this over and over and over again. But if we take the time to find, like I say at the beginning of the day, today I'm going to try and, make this the best day that I can. And like I say, we're going to have the things that happen. That's just part of life, isn't it? Like the flat tires and running late. And today, my birthday, I don't have them. I changed out of my birthday clothes today. I'm in my t-shirt now. But I was trying to put on my favorite earrings, and I was in a hurry to go to lunch, and I pulled out the earrings. I'm like, oh man, the piece of the earring fell off, and so I couldn't wear that. And so I picked out another one, and I'm like, oh, this one doesn't have the back to it. And I could have let that ruin my day. And I just thought, oh, well, I'm going to have to put these in a pile and bring them somewhere for someone to help me fix those. And I'll just go wear another pair of earrings. I always buy earrings when I'm in Mexico. And I have so many other earrings. So I didn't want, I could have let that ruin my day. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we can let things ruin our day. We can let things control, how things are. Or we can say to ourselves, okay, this is happening. I'm going to share with you another very frustrating experience the other day. We have BBVA Bank, and so it's being overtaken by PNC. And so in the midst of the overtaking, our logins aren't working. We couldn't activate our debit cards. There's just like turmoil. And like, I was on the phone the other day for 2 hours trying to fix this problem. And I just told my husband, you know what? I'm so frustrated, but what can I do? It's like, we just have to go through the process. And, that's such a sweet question that you always ask me about with accomplishing so much in my day. But honestly, lately, I have been really slowing down. I have been like realizing that not all the time is more better. Doing less is sometimes what we need. Like if we're tired, and we feel like, man, I don't want to take a nap because I'm wasting time. If I feel like I need a nap or a 20-minute power nap, I lay down. If I feel like I need to stop my business for a while and go outside and go for a walk and, spend time with my kids, or if like one of my kids says, hey mom, we're going to come and take you to go get tacos, I will always say yes. I love tacos. But I'm just saying, you see these little things, like, I think that, sometimes we're so hard on ourselves. We like have this big old checklist. When I first got married with my husband, we had this checklist, and we said, we're going to have this checklist that we're going to do every single day. And, read a good book, pray every morning, do this, exercise. And we had all these amazing things. And we said, we're going to do this every single day. And you know what? After about the 4th day, we got like maybe 10 things done. And we're like, we didn't get the other 10 things done. We're a failure. And we laugh about it today because it's like we got so much done, but we weren't giving ourselves credit. And that's the thing too, is like sometimes, we're so hard on ourselves. We're so hard on ourselves. Like we may put so much on our list and we said we didn't get it all done. But honestly, it's like if you have like 1 or 2 good things that you got done, like, man, I made this lady smile today, or I helped this person, or I was trying to set up my Shopify store and I was going through all these problems, but I set it up today and I got a domain name, those of you who are in e-commerce and stuff. But I'm just saying, like, give yourself credit. You need to celebrate. Like, don't just make it be like a birthday, like today, like I'm celebrating, and I'm actually, thinking, like I say, like you can celebrate every single day, all the things that you do. Like today, believe me, I did not feel like getting up and working out. But I still did it. I got my tennis shoes on and I did my workout, and I was so happy that I did. But I'm just like, you know what? Sometimes if our body is like, man, I just like can't do it today, you don't beat yourself up. And that's one of the things like I wanted to share with you, like this whole year, from my last birthday to now, because I always like to share with you, like when I look back over my years and year of things that like I've learned, from birthday to birthday, because I learned so much every single year about myself, and about the things like some things like we think that matter so much, honestly, at the end of the day, don't really matter. Like, what does it matter if somebody cut in front of you? Were you really that much later to your whatever you were going to? Or did you let your blood pressure rise by letting them in? You know, it's like, no, just who cares? You know, no big deal. Someone cut in front of you. And, you know, all these different things. A friend of mine that came over last night was telling me about how she had a road rage and, you know, somebody was mad because, I don't know, I can't remember what she said, but something about like she was going slow. But like that happens sometimes, you know, like we can get so upset about the littlest things. And really, in reality, as we look back, what does it really matter? Who cares if someone, like, you know, Southwest Airlines, like I'm about to fly on Saturday, and you know how you have, you know, you check in and you're like number 25, and they go, okay, you know, all of you A's 1 through 30 line up, right? And you're number 25, and then you're lining up, right? And then somebody who's number 26 gets in front of you, and you're like, hello, I'm number 25. You're behind me. But really, what does it really matter that one person got in front of you? You know what I mean? And so like the little things, like there's a book I think that's called, you know, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And that's one of the things also that I've been learning over this past year for my birthday. And that is, you know, like some of the things that would bother me, they still bother me sometimes, but it's how we react, right? How do you react to the situation? Because you can choose to either get upset or you can choose to think, well, you know what? That person who was kind of rude to me today in the restaurant, maybe they're having a bad day, you know? We were eating at this restaurant one time, and there was this lady that seemed kind of upset, you know? And she was pregnant, and she was our waitress, or she was, you know, at this buffet, and my husband gave her like a $20 tip. And I'm not saying that to brag about the tip. I'm just because we were going to pay 15 anyway because we had a big party. But she teared up and she said, "Thank you so much. You have no idea. I don't get tips all the time, and I'm trying to pay my rent. You know, I'm about to have this baby." And so, you know, it just like turned it around. It's like if you kind of like start thinking about what might be going on in that person's mind. Maybe something's going on that's making them act the way they do. Because I always tell my kids, people act the way they do for a reason. You know what I mean? Like if they're in a bad mood, then there's a reason. If they are having a bad day, then there's a reason. And it's not always directed at you, you know? And sometimes we take things personally and then we get upset and we have to, and believe me, that's really hard to do. Like to take a step back and say, I wonder, you know, what's going on in that person's life to make them be so rude to me on the phone or cut in front of me, you know, on the road or whatever. But, you know, when you start like, and believe me, I'm still practicing this on a daily basis, not perfect at all, but it's something that I've incorporated over the last few years, you know, to where I'm trying to like put myself in other people's shoes to find out like, why are they acting the way that they're acting? And as we do that, it's like we are more tolerable. Is that a word? Tolerable? Tolerant. There we go. We're more tolerant and we're more loving. And believe me, like I say, it is not easy. Hey Val, let me see what you're saying here. Kind of look at some. Oh yeah, that, you know, that was my very first event. And thank you for saying that, Val, but it was hard. Like I did my volleyball spike and came down and hurt my knee, and I thought it was going to go away the next day, and it didn't. But yeah, that was my favorite conference, the very first conference I spoke at, and you were there, Val. And thank you for saying that. You're so nice. Well, I'm waiting on my husband. He's actually working at, let's see what time it is, 8:22 already. And I already had my best friend and my sister take me to lunch, and I had a lot of calls from my kids and grandkids, and it's been a fun day. I'm working on wedding stuff for my daughter and cleaning off my desk, you know, things that you do on your birthday, you know. Not really, but there are just, you know, things that you just do and you continue to do. But I'm so happy to be able to be here and share with you, you know, what's on my heart. I hope it's helped you in some way. I love sharing things of what I've learned on my birthday, from birthday to birthday, and hope it's brought you something to think about, because, you know, that's also like one of my goals, is to help others, you know, through experiences that I have. And I'm sure you have experiences too that you have no idea that if other people need to hear from you as well. Like I'm sure every single one of you who are on this live right now, and those of you who will come on replay will you know, you have something to share. Thank you, Val. Thanks for being on here. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes, everybody. And for those of you who've been wishing me happy birthday, I'm sorry I cannot respond to all. I'll try to, but you know how it goes. But I wanted to thank you. Thank you so much for taking time to stop and say happy birthday. It's so kind. And thank you so much. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys, if you have a birthday today, happy birthday to you today too. And for the rest of you guys, I hope you have an amazing rest of your evening, and I hope that this has helped you in some way. Feel free to share it if you want. And lastly, I am behind, but I do have a podcast. It's called Joy Reveals, and it's on the Stitcher app if you're on Android, and it's also on the Apple Podcast app on your iPhone. But it's also like on several other platforms. And I had to pause it for a little bit, but I'm going to try and get back to it after this wedding, maybe before. And I probably should just like turn it on as I'm talking to you guys, you know, but I appreciate you guys. And I hope that you share this video, share the podcast. It always helps to, you know, help the show to be found by others. So amazing people like you guys. So take care. Talk to you guys soon. Happy birthday to me and to those who have a birthday today. Hope you guys have an amazing rest of your night.